Hey everybody, it's Tara Green here. Let's talk about this new moon in Aquarius, February the 9th. It is at 5:59 p.m. in Eastern Standard Time, and it is the Chinese New Year of the Azure Dragon, the Green Dragon, or the Wood Dragon. So if you're born in certain years, this could be your golden dragon year if you were born in 1940, 1952, 1964. If you're turning 60 this year, it's a big year for you. And anybody who's born in the last every 12 years before then, 2012, since the big celebration of the Mayan end of the calendar there, that's already one last dragon year ago. So let's look at the specifics of this new moon here. Of course, all new moons are the best times to set new intentions. In Aquarius, it's an air sign. You can see the sun and the moon, they are together at 20 degrees plus Aquarius, conjunct a couple of stars. I always like to bring in some of the fixed stars. This is not a very complicated configuration as far as these things go. But there is a lot of planets in Aquarius, and that's even going to get more intense up until February the 17th. But right now, the sun and the moon are connected to two fixed stars. One is called Castra, and one is called Nashira. Nashira is like a very good benevolent star. That's a nice thing. There's Mercury at 7 degrees in Aquarius, and there's Pluto, of course, at 0 degrees of Aquarius. Now, 0 degrees of Aquarius is a very powerful degree because it's where Jupiter and Saturn last came together on December 21st, 2020. Again, December 21st, the winter solstice, is always a very primal mark day. It's one of the cross-quarter days of the year. So Jupiter and Saturn coming together, which they do every 20 years, marked another 20-year cycle, 0 Aquarius, and another 200-year cycle of these two planets, Jupiter and Saturn, only meeting in air signs. Now we're in a 200-year cycle of air. We've just finished a 200-year cycle of Earth, which started with the Industrial Revolution. So this is called a stellium here, when you have 4 or more planets in one sign. So again, Pluto, Mercury, the Sun, and the Moon, a stellium in Aquarius. So we're really focused. The universe is trying to tell us to pay attention to Aquarian energy. I do believe this is the beginning of the age of Aquarius, which is all about revolution, radical information, higher consciousness, breaking away from the old structures of Capricorn. Now, Saturn, the planet that rules Aquarius in traditional astrology, and in modern astrology, Uranus, right at the top of this chart here, this is set for Washington, D.C., both rule Aquarius, but I like to use both. So we've been in the age of Saturn ruled Capricorn since 2008, which Pluto is just at the last stages of finishing out. It will move back into Capricorn September the 1st to November the 19th and finally stay in Aquarius for the next 20 years. So the position of where Saturn is while we're in this age of Pluto and Aquarius for the next 20 years is very important. So Saturn is in Pisces, which takes the edge a little bit off of this. It's much more spiritual, much more compassionate, much more emotional. We need that emotions. Like, I don't really like it personally. We're going into too much air because air can be too detached, too cold, too robotic. You know, the Aquarius rules new technology. So the modern planet that was discovered in the late 1700s with a telescope, which was Uranus, discovered by Herschel in England. Again, it coincided with the Industrial Revolution and all revolutions in the world. So change. The people have to wake up. The people are waking up. They're seeing all the corruption, all of the old programming, and they're waking up and they're rebelling. The farmers just scored a big coup in Europe. They got the EU to back down from their 30% carbon credits, and so the people have to get together. It's the people's revolution. So what was seeded in the 60s, actually, which we thought was the beginning of, a whole new cultural, sex, drugs, music, rock and roll, which it was just the very beginning stage. And now we're really seeing this start to develop. Change takes a long time. Now, most people don't like change, especially Taurus here. Now, Uranus is squaring the sun and the moon. So this is a tense aspect. The red lines here are the squares or the oppositions. And Uranus is in Aquarius as it's been since 2018. It'll continue to be there till 2025, 26. So all that Taurus, hardcore, stubborn, resistant, money, wealth, jewels, sensual energy is being implicated to change, not to throw the baby out with the bathwater, but just to renovate, to innovate, to get a makeover, to see things, to see resources in a new way. Jupiter is also in Taurus there, and it is squaring Pluto and Mercury there. So again, radical news like Tucker Carlson going to Moscow to he's an independent journalist, which Mercury rules. radical, outside the box, independent. That's all very Aquarian. We're still in, I believe, this second Pluto return to the U.S. I think it's still going on. Now, Venus and Mars here, very nice conjunction here. They're going to have a later conjunction this month on February the 22nd in Pisces, but right now they're very close in Capricorn, Venus at 21, Mars at 28, it looks like. So they're in a conjunction that represents a balanced masculine, feminine energy. So that's nice. That's good for love. But don't celebrate Valentine's Day this year because it's not really Valentine's Day according to the stars. And don't do things by rote, by the clock. That's not what Aquarius is all about. You do it your own way. Neptune's up here in Pisces at 26 degrees in conjunct this specific ascendant, which is set for Washington, D.C. So somehow Washington, the leadership, it's Leo, is totally out of sync with what's going on spiritually. Apparently Biden made a big flub. And also Mars and Venus are in conjunct that. So again, the people's values, the Venus and Mars together are building long-lasting, traditional coherence is the word that's coming to my mind, interestingly enough. Now, the South Node, 17 degrees of Libra here, that's what we're letting go of. It is trining the nice blue line, trining the sun and the moon. So, yes, let's move with the changes. Let's let go of the old toxic relationships behind, okay? Chiron at 16 degrees of Aries is conjunct the North Node. So this has happened a little bit before. Chiron's been going back and forwards. It is going to happen again. So pay attention to the wounded, defensive, body armoring that Chiron does. It's time to be vulnerable, to have the strength of the vulnerable warrior. Okay, that's very important. Now, Venus is also squaring Chiron and the North Node. Mars is very widely squaring it as well. Lilith over here at 14 Virgo is opposite Saturn. So again, there's this still patriarchal fight between women being vilified, like very important women like Taylor Swift, for example, in the world. She's oversaturated, but anyway. And Juno, the feminine form of Venus, is here opposite, widely opposite Neptune. But this is a good opportunity to really use your imagination, use your creative energy. It's a very good manifestation time to, breathe, get into the wind. There's meteor showers as well tonight on this new moon. And of course, the skies will be very clear if you can see them. And so Aquarius is about really breathing and higher consciousness and feeling that sense of being connected to all the dimensions and all the stars. So I'd strongly recommend you to get outside. Vesta is over here at 21 degrees of Gemini. Ceres, 9 degrees of Capricorn here, the Great Mother. She is also sextiling Saturn and Pisces. So we can find a lot of comfort here. Also, Saturn is connected to a star called Scat, which made me think about scat singing, which is an old kind of 1940s kind of black jazz type of singing, but it's a very fortunate star. So while Saturn is connected to this fortunate star, and Saturn has just gone from sitting on the Archangel Gabriel star for a while, this is really nice. This is a very, very fortunate star. So if you have any planets very close, it's got to be 7, 8 degrees Pisces only, then that's very benevolent, very positive. It is also sextiling Jupiter, the planet of luck and good fortune. Again, if you have any planets at 7, 8 degrees Pisces or Taurus, these are both feminine yin signs. The Chinese New Year, it's a yang year, the dragons. You would want to go in and read a little bit more about the lore. I'm going to write a longer article about famous people who are experiencing their dragon return year. And dragons, caught everybody's attention again because of Harry Potter, right? And Aquarius, air dragons. This is a wood dragon year, so it's related to the earth and our bodies and manifestation. So again, think about the radical changes, get a makeover, do something different, breathe in a different way. People are talking about holotropic breath work again, which was a very powerful form of rebirthing. I strongly recommend that. And all kinds of deep breathing just to get us in touch with our bodies and the preciousness of being alive and being human on this earth at this time. I strongly encourage you to embrace change. Change is the name of the game. We have to let go of these old, outworn, outmoded programs. So if you want to get in touch with me to get a personal reading, you can get in touch with me at tarot.com, and I'm sending you all of the best blessings of the day. And look for me to be live soon. I'm going to go on and do some live things, especially before Valentine's Day. All right, sending you blessings on this new moon in Aquarius.